Okay, for a little prep for the lab we're going to do tomorrow, we're going to do some example calculations. These calculations are exactly what you're going to be doing tomorrow when we do the manganese chloride lab. So it says here when you have 8.04 grams of manganese chloride, they're reacted with an excess of fluorine. 14.99 grams of manganese fluoride are produced. So what you're doing is you're taking manganese, reacting it with fluorine to produce manganese fluoride. Now, you get to weigh out the amount of manganese. Now, the amount of fluorine, they said, is excess. Excess means you have so much of it, you can't run out of it. And when you start off, you don't have any product. None. So tomorrow you're going to weigh out some manganese, but instead of reacting with fluorine, you're going to react with chlorine. All of your manganese will react. Why? Because there's tons and tons of fluorine. So there's enough fluorine so that all the manganese reacts. So what's going to end up happening is all the manganese will react, and according to this problem, we're going to produce 14.99 grams. And so now they're asking in question number 1, how much manganese is in that compound? Well, how much manganese did we start with? 8.04. Since it's all reacted, it's all in there. So the first problem here really isn't a calculation at all. It's really just kind of thinking about it. 8.40 grams of manganese are inside that 14.99 grams of manganese fluoride. Because it all reacted, it's all in there. Then for step number 2, it says calculate the moles of manganese in the compound. This is where it looks like what we just did. So we take the 8.40 grams of manganese, divide it by its molar mass, which is 54.9. And I get 0.146 moles. In step 3, it says how many grams of fluorine reacted. Well, how do we figure out how much fluorine reacted when there's excess? They didn't give us a number. Well, if we know that all the manganese reacted, and we know that the product weighs 14.99, then all you have to do is subtract 2. So 14.99 grams minus 8.04 gives me 6.95 grams of fluorine. So that's how I figure out how much fluorine reacted. Then how do I find the moles of fluorine? Same thing as we did in number 2. 6.95 grams of fluorine divided by the molar mass of fluorine, which is 19.0. That's 0.366 moles. And then the very last step here, it says divide to find the empirical formula of the manganese fluoride. So how do you find the empirical formula? You divide by the smallest one. So I've got 0.146 moles of manganese, and I've got 0.366 moles of fluorine. So I divide by the smallest one, that's 0.146. That equals 1, that equals 2.5. So now what do I do after I divide by the smallest one if I still don't have whole numbers?
Multiply them both by 2.
Multiply both by 2. So then I get 2 and 5, and then my empirical formula would be Mn2Cl, or F5. Now again, that's my empirical. I don't know what the actual formula is. The actual formula could be Mn4F10 or Mn6F15. But for number 5, they just wanted us to find the empirical. That is the empirical formula. So once again, we've come to the close of another exciting episode of Mr. Strauss's Chemistry Corner. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have.